Akogolocha. Welcome to Alina Money Show, where we speak everything that has to do with money. Today, I'll start by shining a spotlight on our first guest. She's going to be a ghost, so we won't know her name. And yeah, we're just going to say shine to our guest, shine. On to today's topic. We will speak about how to become money smart. I found myself using this line a lot. It was not planned at all, but I've been saying become money smart. So we're going to know the steps or the tips on how to become money smart. The first one is know how much you are receiving per month. What is your income? If that income is not stable, just have a bit of an average or minimum in terms of how much are you receiving per month. So you write that down. I don't know, to our guests, do you know how much you are receiving per month? Do you have an idea of what is your salary or what is your income in general? Do you know? You don't have to give us the amount, but just what is your income? Do you know it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you know it. And I hope you will be going through the steps with us. I mean, I always give you homework, so your homework for this week is to just follow the steps as we go along. We already discussed the first one. How much are you receiving per month? Write it down. And if you have the Excel spreadsheet, that is a budget template that I have, you can use that to populate the amounts. But if you don't have it, comment with your email address and then I will send it to you. So firstly, we ticked off how much are you receiving. You wrote it down. And if you don't know it, please find it and write it down. Number 2, how much are your fixed expenses? These are the expenses that need to happen no matter what. It's like your debit orders, school fees if you have kids, or for yourself, transport, food, rent, bond, whatever it is. How much are those expenses? Add them up and then we know you put it down and you write them down. I hope my guest also knows what are her fixed expense. Do you perhaps know?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you have a good idea. What are those fixed expenses on your side? Maybe 2 or 3?
Yes, I do.
How?
Should I tell you?
Yes.
Yes. First one would be my bond.
Okay.
Second one, rent.
Rent.
Yes.
Bond and rent.
Yes.
Okay. In
Bond.
what way?
Bond is for the house. Rent is for the bill.
Oh, like the rates, water and lights and things like that. Okay.
And the policies.
Policies. Okay. All right. So that's step number 2. I'm sure you've listed yours already. So number 3, know how much you spend on takeaways and lunch at work or at school, whatever it is. Do you know how much you're spending on takeaways?
Roughly, yes.
Okay, so you need to know, you need to have an idea of how much do you spend on takeaways. And then number 4, how much do you spend on entertainment? This one, let's do it on a weekly basis to say how much in a week are you spending. Like when you are hosting your friends or family, or you are going for outdoor activities, out with the girls, out with the guys, how much are you spending for that? Let's do it on a weekly basis so you have a good idea. How do you normally entertain yourself?
It's actually, I only have one entertainment that I have with the family, but it's quarterly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think I do know that you go to church.
Yes.
So there's those, it's entertainment for you, right? So please, on your side, know how much on a weekly basis are you spending for that. I mean, it's a good thing that I know our guest, and I know that she goes to, on a weekly basis, she goes to church. So those are the things that we can sometimes overlook. How much are you spending when you're going to church? You know, this is just for allocation. There's nothing in terms of judgment around it. It's just to say allocate it on your monthly expenses so that you become money smart. Right. Then number 5, how much do you spend on clothes? This is for yourself or your kids. Do you have a good idea of that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, which is good. I think we need to note it down. I hope you are also, as part of your, this is actually classwork, it's not even homework. As you are watching this, I hope you are noting it down and writing down how much you're spending on. Number 5 is clothes, and for your kids, I know new mommies, we normally want to, whenever we go to the shops, we see something we want to buy for our kids. Do we know how much is that per month? So number 6 is know how much money gets left over after all those 5 things that we've now explained, which number 1 was how much do you receive per month. Number 2, how much are your fixed expenses, your debit order, school fees, anything like that, transport for work and all of that. Number 3, know how much you're spending on takeaways or lunch at work. Number 4, know how much you spend on entertainment. And number 5, know how much you spend on clothes for yourself and for your kids. So that will be all the amounts. Now on number 6, we're saying how much money gets left over after all of those things. So I don't know, do you have an idea in terms of how much money gets left over after all your expenses?
It fluctuates.
Okay, it fluctuates, but you have a bit of an idea. So now we'll come to the second part of what we're doing in terms of, which is the steps or the tips on how to become money smart. This second part will now start talking about savings. So we were on number 6, right? Number 7 in terms of the steps is how much are you saving for unexpected expenses? Do you know? This is like your backup money. Are you saving?
I haven't started. That is my biggest problem. I haven't started.
Okay, so that is something that I will try to help you with in terms of your budget. And also on your side, if there's something you want me to help you with in terms of your budget, I'm more than willing, after I've sent you the template, or after you've written down, and then you can ask specific question as to where do you really need help with. So the first one, or we were on number 7 in terms of how much are you saving for unexpected expenses. This is like your backup money. Money that if, let's say, something just comes up, maybe you have to go somewhere, you know that you use this money. Then number 8, we, in terms of this, the tips on how to become money smart, is how much are you saving towards your emergency savings. So but you already said that you're not saving.
No,
so these are the things to note down, to say after you have a disposable income, how much now can you allocate it to unexpected expenses, and how much you can allocate to your emergency. So the two, which is emergency and backup, they differ. With emergency, it's like your long-term savings that you put aside should you lose your job, for example. Then all those other expenses that we spoke about, they need to start coming out of this emergency. That is why some experts, they will tell you that you need to have at least minimum 3 to 6 months of your monthly salary. You need to save it in there, so that should a rainy day come where you no longer have a job or you have a salary cut, then you can take from that money. And then with backup is just things that pop up maybe in the month, whereby maybe, let's say, there's a funeral at home, you have to now go to Limpopo for a funeral, and you didn't put it in the budget, then you take from that. Or something, maybe one of your kids, they lose their school bag, whatever, you take from that, because it's something that is not on the budget, and then you use your backup savings or unexpected savings. Then number 9, we say how much are you saving or investing for your goals. So we all have different things that we want to do, which we can call them goals. Like, for example, for myself, I want to travel the world. I want to travel the world. And what else? I have other goals. I spoke about them in the previous video, where I spoke about what are my goals, and I listed them and what I'm saving for. So on your side, you need to also find things that you want to save for, which are for you. Every person will have their own goals. Do you have goals that you want to save for?
Yes, I have.
Okay, what are your goals? Maybe
I need to finish up my house.
Oh, you are building a house.
Yeah, that is my biggest.
Oh, how far are you with building the house?
On the roof level.
Okay.
Then I need to save for my roof.
Okay.
Yes.
How much do you think that roof is going to cost you?
It was about 120, between 120 to 160,000.
Okay.
But with this inflation going up, I expect something like 150 to 200 just to save that.
Okay, that is good. I'm glad that you understand inflation, because you know, it's one of those terms like inflation. So meaning that if you start saving your money and you want to now build the house maybe in 2 years or 3 years time, you need to think about inflation, because if it is 120 now, in 2 years time is not 120. Probably inflation ranges around 6%, and it means that where you are saving your money, you need to check if they're giving you interest. So that interest should at least at minimum be 6% per annum, and then you know that you are able to buy the material, or at least you are not too far from the real amount that you want to save for. So that was number 9. What are your goals? List down your own goals. What do you want to do? For some people, they want to travel the world like me. For some people, what could it be? You know yourself. So each and every person is different. Write down your goals. It doesn't matter how many they are, but you just need to know yourself and know what is it that you want to do, and you start saving for that. It's that simple, because saving will make sure that you do your goals with your own money instead of credit. So that is it. That is number 9. I mean, number 10, how to become money smart, is to watch my show, Alina Money Show, where we become money smart. So watch my show for weekly. I will be uploading every week, and for you to sort of engage with my content and really comment if you have questions. I'm here to help you so that we all become money smart. And you know, I didn't start with this, but what I was actually doing is what we call budgeting. I didn't want to start with the word budget, because if I were to ask you, do you budget, what were you going to say? Were you going to say yes or no?
I'll say no.
You'll say no. But you do have an income, you do have expenses, and you want to start saving. So all in all, those things that I asked is budgeting. So we are all doing a budget. When they ask you, do you have a budget? You do have a budget. It's just that sometimes it's not really a budget that you sat down and you thought about it. So what we did today, I trust that you were doing your classwork, whereby we started with step 1 up until step 10, whereby you were writing down all those things. And with that, you did your own budget. And you should be proud of yourself for having done that, because a lot of people don't do a budget. But it doesn't stop there, because with a budget, it's something that evolves. I mean, your goals, after you finish building your house, you probably have another goal. So with a budget, it's something that evolves. You need to start doing the budget and then review your budget as things change. Sometimes you receive a higher salary, you need to adjust your budget and make sure that you start with saving. One thing that we did, we started with the expenses part, and then we moved over to the savings part. But in actual fact, it should be moved around. Once your income comes in, you must start with the savings. That's what other people will call it. You pay yourself first, because you put that money for you to be able to use it in future. So start with your saving. That is a goal that we should all have, right? We're going to start with our saving. Immediately when the money comes in, we allocate it to our savings. And then after that, what gets left over is what we are going to be now using for the expenses. That is how we should be thinking about, and that is why we will say that now we are all money smart. I think from my side, I am done for the day, but just to give you a recap of these tips of how to become money smart. Number 1, know how much you are receiving per month income. Number 2, what are your fixed expenses, debit orders, rent, bond, car finance, all those fixed expenses, what are they? Number 3, how much do you spend on takeaways? Number 4, how much do you spend on entertainment? Number 5, how much do you spend on clothes for yourself or for your kids? Number 6, how much money gets left over after everything else? Number 7, how much are you saving for unexpected expenses? Number 9, how much are you saving for your emergency savings account? Number 9, how much are you saving or investing for your goals? Number 10, the last tip, watch this show on a weekly basis for us to discuss everything that has to do money. With that being said, I am done for today. I don't know if my guest has anything to say. Have you learned something? Are you happy?
Yes, I am.
Have you learned something today?
Yes,
Okay.
I need that Excel.
You need that Excel. Yes, I'm going to send it to you, and also if you need it, please let me know in the comments, and then I will send it to you. So yeah, with that, let's meet again next week, where we'll be discussing another tip or something. I don't know what we're going to discuss next week, but what I do know is that it's going to help you. With that, have a productive week, and don't forget to be money smart. Ciao.